Yo, what's up? Back again. A brutal college football season so far for the boys. Hopefully that turns around. How we feeling tonight, fellas? How we doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Hopefully, my Mac picks cover.
Yeah. All right. So week 10 college football results. I am in first place, 73-74, minus 3.35 units. Ryan, you're in second, 62 and 63, minus 6.72 units. Nagy's in third, 40 and 42, minus 7.47 units. Zach, you're in last, 53, 65 and 1, minus 18.17 units. Ryan, you're on a 2-game losing streak in your DOD. Me and Zach are on a 1. Nagy paid up. Did he pay you, Zach?
I haven't looked.
Well, he paid me today. I was going to owe him 30, and he sent me, and he requested 15 and said, so I think he hasn't sent a picture, so he definitely has not done it.
He definitely hasn't done it.
Yeah. So he is supposed to go vegan, but Scout's honor didn't do it. At least he paid me. He has to pay Zach. So, question. There's rumors swirling around. They said since Ryan didn't uphold his bet, that's why his picks have gone to shit.
I did.
You did not go vegan for a week.
Okay. Yes, I did.
Come on.
You made it, Ryan. You made it worse because you did not send any pictures.
No. He would send a picture of sweet potatoes, and there's no fucking way you're just eating sweet potatoes as a full course meal.
Sweet potatoes and vegetables.
Or you would just send a
there's no
fucking
way.
protein shake.
Yeah, and just say you're on the golf course with the boys. No way. Yeah, it's okay.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But
And
I'm
I
just
did
saying,
follow it, and I'm negative 18 units. So
yeah, you did follow it. I think the gods were punishing me for one last meeting because I didn't pay up yet, but I paid my dues, so I'm hoping my palate is cleansed now. So but all right, let's get into it. College football rankings came out last night. Honestly, other than I would say the Michigan State, Michigan. Why does Bleacher Report have that? Michigan State, Michigan. Michigan being ranked higher than Michigan is the only one that people, I guess, in a sense, have had a problem with. What do you guys think about the rankings?
well, so I the ranking I texted everybody in the group. I basically just put Michigan State at 10, and I had Oklahoma State, Notre Dame, Oklahoma in front of them. So I basically just kind of lost in one ranking. So I thought Michigan would be ahead of Michigan State. I thought they'd be higher ahead. I get the whole thing how Michigan beat Michigan State head to head. I don't fault that. But I think then losing the very next week when you finally get to the playoff ranking and then you give up 540 passing yards to Purdue.
But why are you saying Purdue they're a horrible team? They're 6-3 with 3 top 20 losses.
I don't know.
And it was on the road, and it's Michigan State. Wait. We're playing football, right? Too bad they couldn't play the football game to see who beat who, right? Oh, wait, they did. So it's and it's not the Ohio State. This is what make no sense either. The Ohio State-Oregon argument, I get. And everyone's saying Ohio State's playing better football than Oregon right now, which I would still agree with. But Oregon beat them. And that was in week 2, not 2 weeks ago. It's been 1 week since they played. And they lost on the road to Purdue. That's it. Who is Michigan barely, they struggled against a 2-7 IU team. What in that IU game where you're yep, they're the better team? They played a football game. What is the point of playing football games? They should all just play a blue and gold scrimmage at the end of the year, and whoever the committee thinks from that scrimmage is the best 4 teams should get in. If head-to-head doesn't fucking matter. Joey Galloway, that bozo, said Michigan's loss is better than Michigan State's loss.
Yeah,
it's to Michigan
I don't
State,
agree with that. I don't agree with that.
It's to Michigan State. How does that make any sense?
But
I just Michigan hasn't done anything to put themselves Ohio State has done stuff where you could make the argument they have a better resume than Oregon, because Oregon's loss is pretty bad. It's to if you want to stack up resumes, Michigan State.
Stanford's awful.
like Michigan State's resume is still pretty good.
Yeah.
And they have just as good as a win as Oregon does. So,
Yeah.
and their loss is way better. And then if we're going to go on all of this,
Ohio State has a better. Hold on.
no. Michigan State has a better loss than Oregon, is my
I
point.
agree.
Like if we want to go full, like
Yeah.
Michigan was ranked what, 5th or 6th? So Oregon beat the 4 team, Michigan State beat the 6 team, and Michigan State's losses to the number 19 team, and Oregon's losses to an unranked 3 and 6 Stanford team. Like I just don't like. There's no consistency. I don't think you can use that argument for Oregon, Ohio State, and then turn around and not use it for Michigan, Michigan State when it actually is more relevant because it's happened 2 weeks ago compared to week 2 of the season. And also, this is my last thing, and then you guys can chime in. I don't think this whole thing of when you played the team and where they're at matters. If you lose to a team like Purdue, because Joey Galloway kept saying they lost to an unranked team. No, Purdue's fucking ranked.
Yeah,
There's a
they're
reason
ranked.
why
They
they're
count
ranked.
as a ranked team. Yeah, I agree with that.
Georgia, you can't say beat a top 5 Clemson team
No.
because they did it.
No.
Like it matters where these teams end up. It doesn't matter what happens in week 2. What if Oregon would have went 3-9? We're all going to sit there and say Ohio State lost to a top 12 team? No, they're not. So it's like I hate that whole thing of like it matters where they were ranked. No, it really doesn't because a season happens after. Like you can't say they beat the 5th overall team, and then it's like the rest of the season does not matter. They do have a top 5 win. That's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Now, if you guys have anything to say,
Ryan.
Yeah,
I'm fine with the rankings. I thought Michigan State would be lower than Michigan, and it is.
I have 2 big gripes with, or 3. One, Zach or Michael, you've already kind of covered very well. My second gripe is, I tweeted about it last night. Oklahoma just needs that one good loss,
right?
and they'll be up there at number 3 or 4. I don't know why they're not higher than 8.
I agree.
Needed.
I
I
agree.
agree 100%.
And then
I agree
and then-
100%.
I can't speak as this as a fact, but last week they bring up Oklahoma's defense, how they're ranked this and they're ranked that. I don't recall them ever bringing up rankings, like specific rankings, how their defense plays.
Yeah.
They
win the
do
game.
if
It
it,
doesn't
they
matter.
do if it like benefits their argument. Like they don't all like let's say Alabama was like let's say Georgia this year. Like let's say their offense has done well, but let's say their offense was ranked like way lower. They wouldn't bring up the ranking in that situation because it's like it doesn't help their cause. But for like someone like Oklahoma, they'll bring it up because it's like, oh, this is a starting point, and it's like, no, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't get
I
it.
have one question for both of you though. It's the same question. Do you guys like the BCS top 4 better, or do you like the college football playoff top 4 better?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't like either. Like
If you had to pick one though, which one would you take right now?
I'm gonna look. What was the BCS top 4?
The
It
BCS
was
top
Georgia,
4,
Bama,
right?
Cincinnati, Oklahoma. I would rather take the BCS
Yeah, I agree.
because
But that
here's
doesn't
my
that go against your argument then saying like the whole Michigan State, because Michigan State's still lower than them.
you
this
said
isn't
top
top
4.
four.
You said top
We're
4.
just talking about top 4, Zach.
You said top 4.
But wouldn't that against their argument then still of Oregon?
You said top 4.
Well, then, I mean, as a whole, then too, top 10.
Well, that's a different question. You said top 4.
Either one, Zach. I don't understand the Michigan over Michigan State for either of them, but as far as the top 4 goes, I would take the BCS.
You said top 4. I would take BCS. Either one of them, I agree. I don't understand the Michigan over Michigan State, and I don't understand Oregon all the way down at 9. But top 4 with Georgia, Bama, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, I would 100% take the top 4. And also, like this is something I was thinking about too. You know, Michigan State. If we're going to go head-to-head, right? If head-to-head, not head-to-head, common opponents matter, correct? Like they always talk about that. Like to an extent, common opponents matter, okay? Notre Dame mollywopped a Wisconsin team that Michigan barely beat. Notre Dame beat by double digits a Purdue team that Michigan State got their ass kicked by. So it's
They
like,
cover the spread. They cover the spread. Very important.
who?
Notre Dame.
But I know, but they won both games, and they won
Yeah.
both games by double digits, and we're gonna go common opponents. Like this whole infatuation is like every year the committee, like college football, wants Michigan to be good. They're gonna go on the fucking road this weekend. They're gonna be beat by Penn State, and it's gonna be the dumbest thing ever. And it's gonna be they should have never been ranked ahead of Michigan State in the first place. Because, like I've been saying, what's the point of playing a fucking football game? Also, I don't understand why Penn State's not ranked at all. Like,
They have 3 losses.
yeah, but so does a shit ton of other teams.
No, I'm asking.
They
I know
have
if they
3
had 3 or
losses.
4.
They have 3 losses, but they beat the number 17 team Auburn. They beat the number 18 team Wisconsin. Their losses are to the number 4 team and
Iowa.
Illinois, which is a bad loss.
And yeah, so they don't leave that out, and that's the reason why they're not ranked.
But like Pittsburgh lost to Bowling Green.
No, I'm not. Yeah, no. I mean,
It like matters for some things, and then it doesn't matter. Like that's my whole problem with all this. Is like, if you're gonna rank Michigan ahead of Michigan State, you might as well just rank Ohio State ahead of Oregon.
I think the dumbest is like how Oklahoma is still behind both Michigan and Michigan State.
it
That
doesn't
makes no
make
sense.
Zach.
That makes no sense. Like you're undefeated.
I mean,
They
If
haven't beaten a
Oklahoma-
top
if
4
Oklahoma-
opponent. I
if
get. I agree.
Oklahoma wins this weekend at Baylor, there's absolutely zero fucking reason why Oklahoma should not be ahead of Michigan and Michigan State. I
Yeah.
don't care if Michigan
Ohio
if
State.
Michigan beats Penn State on the road, that means they beat a 4-loss Penn State team. That's not
Yeah.
something that you should go for.
Yeah.
Michigan State, they don't have a weak game this weekend to prove why they should be ahead of Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a chance to prove why they should jump all the way to 6.
They should be number 4, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, they're a Power 5 team. It's not their fault that teams suck. But I also have a problem with Wake dropping from 9 to 12 while losing to a 4-loss North Carolina team.
Also,
Like,
I did not realize they were up that entire game until the 4th.
They were winning by a lot.
Yeah.
Like they don't deserve to be ranked 12.
No.
And NC State doesn't deserve to be ranked 16. And Auburn doesn't deserve to be ranked 17.
They have 4 losses now.
3,
Three.
I think.
Three,
3,
so-
I think. And UTSA should be ranked like 20th.
They should be ranked 4.
They should be top 10. Like
They're number 15 in the BCS.
there's some things Houston should be ranked. That is one thing I will not understand. Houston should be ranked. Like
But
that just makes no fucking sense.
my third gripe, and it's a gripe, but it's also not, because then it's Notre Dame. They should not be below Michigan and Michigan State.
Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
but I'm not trying to pound the table to where they get into the playoffs. I don't want that this year, but they should not be below those. They have the best second. Like I said, they have the second best loss, and we already said they have one of the best losses, because apparently that's stamp of approval for the playoff.
The BCS rankings as a whole is way better than the college football playoff.
As a whole, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Houston should be ranked. Penn State should be ranked. I don't agree with Coastal Carolina. They should not be ranked. But, Ryan, I was actually looking at it, and I agree with you. Like, I do not want Notre Dame to make the playoffs at all. I'd rather have them go to a New Year's Six game and win that bowl game. Whatever, that's not the point, though. But, like, looking at their overall resume, and the Purdue win helps them out a lot, right? And this Wisconsin keeps winning, and they're, like, I would be shocked if Wisconsin doesn't win the West. You have these teams that they now have 2 top 19 wins. Their losses to the number 6 team in the country,
5 now,
right?
5,
Huh?
5.
Since he's 5, yeah, correct.
Yep.
Their losses to the number 5 team in the country. Okay, Michigan State, they beat Michigan, so they have a better win, but their losses to a team Notre Dame beat. Other than that, their resume isn't that great. Michigan, if they beat Wisconsin, and that's it. They beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin, yes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But that's it. Other than that, their schedule's been trash. Like, so what has Michigan done to be a top 10 team?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they put Notre Dame and Cincinnati as well in this weird flex position to where like they're capped as far as how high they can get, unless
I feel like Cincinnati, the way
Unless
they've put them now, they can win their way in.
I don't know if they can win their way in because Oklahoma has so many opportunities. Oklahoma
Yeah.
will jump them.
If Oklahoma wins out, they're guaranteed. That's why I'm not really that upset about Oklahoma. Because
Yeah, Oklahoma
I
will
know
get
if
in.
they win, they're in. That's
Oklahoma will win and get in.
Oregon, Ohio State.
Oregon will win and get in. Ohio State will win and get in.
Yeah.
Georgia wins and gets in. Georgia even has one loss, gets in. Alabama wins and gets in. And so, like, that's 5 teams right there that this is one thing, another counter argument, though, that I have with why should Michigan State be ranked behind Michigan, okay? So Michigan State and Michigan, let's say they both win out, correct? Who goes to the Big Ten championship game?
Wisconsin versus Ohio State.
No, if Michigan and Michigan
If Michigan
win
wins out, it would be Michigan.
it would be Michigan State. Why?
because they beat
Oh, head to head.
Because they beat them. It's like, what are we playing football for if the game on the field doesn't matter?
Didn't now I agree with you, Michael, but if history repeats itself, this has happened before. Alabama they didn't win the SEC West. They also didn't, and so they didn't play in the SEC championship game, and they still made the playoff.
Oh, no, it's happened like 5 times. I'm not saying that they don't have to make the championship game. I'm saying they literally hold a tiebreaker over the team that's ahead of them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. No, it happened to Ohio State the one year that I think Michigan State ended up going to the Big Ten championship. Ohio State got in. It's happened to Bama once, and it happened to one other school. I can't remember exactly who, but it's happened 3 times where a team hasn't won their conference championship and gotten in. I have no problem with that if the rankings like that year Auburn beat Bama.
Oh no, I was talking about they straight up did not make their conference championship game.
Yeah, neither did Ohio State. Ohio State won 11-1 and lost to Michigan State, and Michigan State went 10-2.
It was when Wisconsin beat Northwestern, Ohio State got in, right?
No. Michigan State beat Iowa, I think.
What was the year? Didn't Wisconsin play Northwestern when you're in the Big Ten title and Ohio State got in?
They're on the same
Ohio
side.
State played Northwestern in the Big
Yeah,
Ten.
Wisconsin and
yeah.
Northwestern are on the same side, so no.
Oh.
But Ohio State got in one year because they were 11-1. They lost to Michigan State. I think it was the year that they had the last-second field goal, and Bama had the same thing. So that's happened before. I mean, that doesn't really necessarily bother me as much.
That bothers me. That part does.
But then you can't expect Notre Dame really to ever.
If you're not good enough to make your conference championship game,
that's a tough argument against a Notre Dame fan. That's a tough argument against a Notre Dame fan.
I'm not even. But then again, and I think it's weird because I think the year that Alabama didn't make it, they
won it all.
So
they
it's
did.
like you can't.
They did. But I see. My thing is though, Bama was won all year. They lost like the number 12 team in Auburn, and it's like I think Auburn ended up with 3 losses, so you can't put them in. Both times it's happened, the teams they needed to lose in conference championship weeks have lost.
Yeah.
Now that sucks that they're sitting at home and they benefit from it, but that's they're not going to put a 2-loss team in. And to their credit, I don't know how Ohio State did the year that it happened, but I mean Bama did win it all.
This is the year a 2-loss team gets in.
I'm really shocked by that.
Because I think Alabama loses. Oregon will lose because their quarterback stinks.
I don't think Oregon will get in though.
I
don't think Oregon would get in.
Cincinnati's going to lose, and they'll just take them out entirely.
If Cincinnati loses, that really opens a door because, I don't know. Do you trust Oklahoma to win out?
I trust them more than
What?
Alabama.
Imagine this scenario. Say Michigan beats Penn State this weekend, or say Penn State beats Michigan this weekend, but then Michigan beats Ohio State the last week.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be a fucking insane situation.
But then Michigan State gets in, so it's not going to matter.
Who?
Michigan State will then.
Well, Ohio State still plays them. They could.
Ohio
State.
State. Say Ohio State beats Michigan State. Penn State beats Michigan. Michigan beats Ohio State. They all cancel out each other.
Well, then yeah,
the Big Ten's absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame, welcome to the fucking college football playoffs, boys. That's
Oh.
really what would happen.
Four
So-
Notre Dame versus one Georgia. They should just throw the white flag in 90.
No, I think Notre Dame would. I don't think Notre Dame would be 4.
I do.
You think they're going to get the 3?
What? So I'm looking at the rankings right now. So
They're 9. They're 9. That means that they would.
So you
Just
got hold
by-
on. You've taken out 4, 6, and 7.
Yeah. So there's 6.
I'm in the assumption that there's more than just the Big Ten that loses ahead of them.
That's why we say they'll get in.
What's that?
I agree. Me and Zach are both agreeing.
So
that-
So if you put that scenario, like you said, Big Ten cannibalize itself. I think Oregon is a lock to lose, personally.
right. So that means they're 5.
Then I think Cincinnati loses.
Well, okay, that's a very interesting point. Let's say Cincinnati is 12-1 and American Conference champion, right? Let's say they lose to SMU. Notre Dame is 11-1.
You put Cincinnati in. You have to.
Do they though?
No, they don't.
I
Dude.
don't think they do.
Oh, they
I
don't,
think
but they
do.
should. Because if your last team to get in the playoff is Cincinnati or Notre Dame, and they choose Notre Dame,
They've already set the precedent, Zach.
I think they let it happen with Michigan State. Like,
dude, that would be absolutely wild.
there would be
If they let it get down to that. I mean, this is a wild scenario to happen, but
And I
if
think
you have the last 4 seed to be
I
Cincy
don't
or
think
Notre
that's that
Dame,
wild.
and you take the team that Cincy beat at Notre Dame and they get in, dude, the people would fucking riot.
Zach, so let's say Michigan State and Michigan both went out the rest of the year. Do you think Michigan State would deserve a chance over Michigan?
Do I think they should?
Yes.
Yes. Do I think they'll get it? No.
wait,
They will just because they'd win the Big Ten championship.
They
Oh,
both
they
will.
will.
Yeah, they would. I think they would because they'd beat a top 15 Wisconsin team at that point.
Yeah, no, I think
While
they
Michigan
definitely
is sitting
should.
at home. Now, honestly, that would be the wildest scenario, I think, to college football player, like a Cincinnati Notre Dame, because the Michigan State thing, like, honestly, like, I don't think any of us think either team are winning out. So, like, that's going to play itself out.
Yeah.
And
But
I
the
think-
Notre Dame Cincinnati argument, though, is like, I could easily see Cincinnati losing one game. And then you have the argument. But that's why it's so fucking dumb that, like, say what you want. It matters when you lose.
True. It's like back in the day, the BCS, if you lost early in the season, you
Yes.
still had a chance to get back. If you lose late now,
Yes.
like, yeah.
Like, Oklahoma could have lost to Texas and ran the table. And I
Yep.
think with the way everything's going, have a good chance of getting in.
Yeah.
If Oklahoma loses to Iowa State, I think they have absolutely zero chance of getting in the college
It's
football
like what was the one year? It was like 2011. Iowa State beat Kansas State to ruin Kansas State's chances of going to the BCS.
that
Probably.
They had,
Well,
it was Colin Klein.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was like I think that was 2011.
That was the year Notre Dame could have won, but they didn't.
Oh yeah, that was year Notre Dame. That was 2012. That was year Notre Dame snuck in.
Yeah,
Against Bama?
they were.
Yes.
They were number 3. They were number 3 going into the last regular season week.
Yep.
And-
And they jumped to 1
and-
because 1 and 2 both lost.
Stanford beat Oregon, and Baylor, I think, beat Kansas State.
I thought it was Iowa State.
Someone.
Well, the Notre Dame would have played Ohio State for that national title, but Ohio State was on a bowl ban.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they would have. That would have been a.
They probably could have beat that Ohio State team too.
It'd have been so much better if they would have just could have played Kansas State in the championship.
Yeah. All right. Any other gripes?
So this is what I think is going to happen.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, this is what I want to happen.
Let's.
Okay,
how about we all?
no.
Predict,
It's a combination.
how about we all predict our Final Four?
No. Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. I like that. But Ryan, why one thing for you though is these committee people, they're fucking clowns, right? They're Mickey Mouse, they're just clowns. But secondly, my thing for you is you said you don't think Bama is the number 2 team in the country, which honestly, I don't necessarily disagree with. But nobody played well this weekend.
No, I know. Then before you got
Before you got on, we talked about that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was saying that I still don't think they are, but I can't make an argument for anyone.
For anyone else, I agree. like Cincinnati, honest, like they just keep playing like shit. Ohio State had like their one chance to maybe prove it, and they go on the road to fucking Nebraska and suck. Oregon plays Washington, who's horrendous, sucks. Like, obviously Michigan State loses. I think if Michigan State would have won with Bama's performance, Michigan State might have jumped to 2, but they did it, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I agree. There's just like there's no separation. There's like no one really like wants to necessarily make the playoffs, but then no one also like
no one does.
But they keep like winning, and then it's just like Georgia. This is like crazy because like I don't know, it's gonna be wild because if Georgia doesn't win at all, it's like that's kind of crazy because they were clearly the best team for 20 weeks of the season. But
this is what I think is gonna happen. Alabama, Georgia's not losing.
Yeah,
something weird will have to happen for them to lose, especially in the regular season.
Yeah, regular season, I think.
Alabama, I think they could potentially finish 10-2 in the regular season. I like Auburn in the Iron Bowl this year. Oregon, their quarterback stinks. I think Utah is playing really well right now. I can see them losing to Utah twice, actually. Cincinnati, don't trust them at all.
Wait, Oregon plays Utah in the regular season, and then obviously the Pac-12. I think with them winning last
They
week.
played twice in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You guys did your weird Big Ten scenario. Who knows what happens in the Big Ten. The only scenario that I think could make things really freaky is if Texas A&M makes the SEC championship and upsets Georgia.
Yeah. I saw some people saying that.
And that
All right, Ryan, if this is your wild scenario, what the fuck's going to happen? I need you to predict your Final Four.
Yeah, what's your Final Four?
If that happens, oh, man.
Okay, wait, one more question, though. Actually, no, I'll save that for down the line because that will be way longer. But, yeah, everyone predict their Final Four then.
Ryan, you got to give yours first because my mind.
I'm going to predict that exact scenario. I'm going to go Georgia.
But they lost to A&M, you're saying?
Yeah, they're still in, though.
But no, they wouldn't be your 1 seed.
I don't know who would.
Well, you got to predict your Final Four.
They still could be.
Your Final Four.
I think they
still could be.
I think they could still be 1.
They would still have the best overall resume, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah, but how can you give a team a 1 seed right after losing the last game going to the playoff?
Because everyone else has lost.
Jack, this is weird. This season is so weird.
This is probably the weirdest season we've had in a long time.
I'm going to still go with Georgia.
Okay.
Big Ten's out. We can't oblige them. The Pac-12.
You don't have to. That was just
you don't have to.
Oh, okay. We don't have to.
I'm predicting my Final Four. What it would
this
be.
is like what you actually
four.
think is going to happen.
Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia, Oklahoma, Ohio State. Oh man,
this is where he's fucked.
I would almost put a 2-loss A&M team over Notre Dame, and I think I would. So I'll go A&M at 4.
So you're saying A&M's getting the SEC title then? And winning it.
Wait, who'd you have it for?
A&M.
Okay.
So he's having A&M go to SEC title.
He has A&M losing out, and then Bama or winning out, and then Bama losing to
Auburn,
and then beating Georgia. Okay.
Georgia.
Zach, who do you think?
My Final Four predicted are no ranking: Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, and Oklahoma.
Okay. I'm going to go Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, Cincinnati.
I just cannot.
Cincinnati keeps.
No, I would be more shocked if Alabama makes it to Cincinnati at this point.
See, I wouldn't. Like, they just have to win one game. Like, I don't think Auburn's that good. Like, they still have both fucking Knicks.
Well,
they don't have.
I don't think Alabama's that good either.
No, but like, do you think like they still have beaten some teams that are all right that they've made them look like children?
LSU should have just pulled the Band-Aid off last week, and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Well, that's because Ed O is a moron. I think he doesn't even give a fuck either. But yeah, all right.
Cards.
Yep. Who had the worst week?
Me.
By a lot, I think.
Oh yeah, Ryan did this week. He was like 2-9.
Let's see. Yeah, he was 2-9. Yep, Ryan, you did have the worst week. Wait, I want to look at my cards. I had a few plays that, like, first off, Kentucky. What choke? Choke artist. Like, everyone fucking gives you props for once, then you fucking lose at home. Fuck you.
You did have North Carolina though, didn't you?
Yes, I did. That was
They came back.
an easy pick. Wasn't really an easy pick, but yeah. Baylor. Dude, fuck Baylor. But all right.
Yeah, they lost to TCU, right?
Yeah. Rhino, what you got?
Did you not write them down again?
No, I do have him down. I did this time. Penn State plus 1.5 against Michigan, and I also have Penn State money line.
It's plus 1.5 now.
Yes.
Holy shit!
It is?
Yeah.
Wow.
What was it?
I had him at -0.5.
Yeah, last I checked too, I had him at -1.5. It is plus 1.5. Wow.
What's the odds?
Minus
-112.
and then minus 102 on the money line.
Yep.
Baylor plus 6.5 against Oklahoma. Purdue plus 20.5 against Ohio State. I wouldn't be all that shocked if they went outright.
Purdue?
Take
Yeah.
the money line.
Thinking about
Wow.
it. Purdue's disrespected still somehow. They have the best 2 wins.
Well, it also doesn't help. After they beat Iowa, they got housed by Wisconsin. Remember?
Like, yeah, but also, like, they don't have the best.
Wisconsin's like quietly getting good now, though.
Yeah,
I
but
agree. No,
you
I
can't
would
put-
agree.
you can't
But I
put
think
Purdue-
that's why Purdue's getting kind of on that line.
Wisconsin's one ahead of them, and they beat the shit out of them. And also, it's like, let's pump the brakes on Iowa. They're not that good.
No, they're not.
True.
Iowa got overranked for beating fucking IU. IU's 2-7.
Virginia, I'm sorry. Wake Forest, North Carolina State over 66.5. Ole Miss plus 2.5 against Auburn. Wait, no, plus against A&M. And then I have Auburn minus 6.5 against Mississippi State. That's small
Okay.
for this week.
All right, mine. I got
Jesus,
Pitt
how many
minus
plays was
6.
that?
That is 7.
I got Pitt minus 6.5 versus UNC. I got Cincy minus. These are all lines I took last night, so if they did change, you're going to have to let me know. I got Cincy minus 23.5 at South Florida. I got Auburn minus 5.5 versus Mississippi State. I got this one's going to blow everyone's mind. New Mexico State plus 51.5 versus Bama.
You know, Saban's like
1-9
when he's favored by 45 points.
Yeah,
or more, or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, screw it, I'm taking Mexico State. I got Penn State plus 1.5 at Michigan, or at their home versus Michigan.
Yeah, they're home.
I got Syracuse plus 3.5 at Louisville. I got Oklahoma minus 6.5 versus Baylor. I got Coastal Carolina minus 10.5 versus Georgia State. I've taken Coastal Carolina like every week, so I have to just keep doing it.
They suck this year, though.
I know. I've got Purdue, Ohio State over 61.5.
It's 6.
ND Virginia over 64. What is it?
62.5.
62.5 now.
Oh, damn.
Minus 106.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what I want to do for my dude.
I got ND Virginia over 64.5. Oklahoma State minus 12.5 versus TCU, and then I've got my DOD. I had 2 more plays, but I had to play in the back for the match.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna just. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna do that for my do or die. All right. All right. I got North Carolina plus 6.5. I got North Carolina money line plus 205. I have Kansas State minus 6.5. I have Memphis minus 4.5. I have Auburn minus 6.5. I don't know if you guys said 5.5 or 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, okay. Penn State plus 1.5. Penn State money line minus 102. I got Baylor plus 5.5. I got Baylor money line plus 176.
The line is 6.5 now. If you want that,
Baylor.
yeah.
I'm literally reading it off the site right now. It's 5.5.
Oh, Sorry.
Liar, Ryan. So Oklahoma's still 5.5.
Oklahoma is 5.5.
Do I get it at 6.5 or 5.5?
No.
Okay.
What do you think? You just create lines?
Yeah,
I
come
wrote
on now.
I wrote these down like 15 minutes ago. What's the change?
Iowa minus 4.5. The Buckeyes are going to beat the fucking shit out of Purdue minus 20.5. Nope, not that. I have Boston College plus 1.5. I have UTSA minus 32.5. I'm going to take them until they get
Wait,
some
who are they
fucking
playing?
respect.
I couldn't find that line.
Southern Miss minus 32.5.
Is Boston College playing?
They're playing at Georgia Tech.
They're plus.
Is it minus
1.5?
110, minus 32.5?
32.5 is minus 106.
Cool, got it.
And it's Boston College plus 1.5.
Plus 1.5 for Boston College, yes.
They're on my card.
I then have lost my train of thought. Texas A&M minus 2.5. Wake Forest minus 2.5. Notre Dame minus 5.5. San Diego State minus 2.5 in my do or die.
Okay.
Ryan, what's your do or die? We
Okay.
all lost do or dies last week.
Before I say it,
Mhm.
question: if there is an injury, can my do or die be switched?
In injury, yes.
Okay.
But also, if you text it, well, none of us are probably going to argue. But you just have to tweet it. That's really the main thing.
Okay.
But you also can't tweet like an hour before unless Nagy texts us that he had another dream. Like, I feel like that's fair game. If Nagy has a dream, like
Signs.
the signs, I mean, they were there. Like,
All
they
right.
won. That was a clear winner. So,
My do or die, and it's totally up to the health of their quarterback, is Notre Dame, Virginia over 64.5. Brennan Armstrong,
is this, he might be hurt?
he cracked a few ribs against
okay.
BYU.
Good. Fuck him.
And if their defense stinks, Notre Dame could probably roll out of bed and put up some points. So, yeah, I like 64.5.
Zach.
I think this line is still the same. I haven't checked it. I have Georgia minus 20.5 at Tennessee.
20.5 minus 105. Yes.
Okay.
I have Boston College money line plus 102 at Georgia Tech. Jerkovich is back. Boston College, I actually think, is not bad. I think they would have a way better record and be well more respected if Jerkovich never got hurt. So Boston College at Georgia Tech money line plus 102. And we will be back next week. The one thing college football playoff rankings this year has done is they have given us a lot to talk, because most years sometimes it's pretty cut and dry, and now it's interesting to see where they put teams this week because they're so fucking stupid. So that's at least interesting and entertaining. But all right, we'll be back next week.
Wait, hold on.
Hopefully everyone has a good week.
Hold on. Is there a team that's outside the top 9 right now that you would give an outside chance to sneak in?
Outside the top 9,
Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
I was looking at them too.
That'd be the only
Oklahoma
one
State or Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State in a sense, now they would obviously need help, but kind of controls their own destiny too, though. Like if they could win
Oklahoma, then yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And then
Yeah.
A&M would just need Bama to lose, and that's their only shot with obviously other teams losing. But Oklahoma State, I agree with that. And then Texas A&M, I would say. Honestly, if BYU just never fucking lost to Boise State, their resume is way better than Cincinnati as a whole. So they're
Who
more
did they
on.
lose to?
Boise State, and then who was the other team? Like both teams they lost to. Oh, Baylor. They lost to Baylor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, we'll be back next week.
Peace.
Peace.